Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Today we're joined by boxing legend Peter de Freitas. Essex boy, is it? London boy? Which one is it, Pete? I can't hear you, mate. Do your sound. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, mate. You all right?
Yeah. Look, I'm a true Cockney. Up the hammers.
Oh, you're an Hammers, are you? Oh, you'll get loads of West Ham fans loving you today then, Peter.
Yeah.
How you been?
How are you? I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, take each day as it comes, you know.
I haven't seen you since we went for that Italian in, what area was that now?
Backer still.
Backer still. Yeah, all right,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, nice, yeah. It's about 18 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 18, a couple of years ago, that actually, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of years, yeah.
I remember bumping into the guy who Jimmy Tibbs had. What were he called now? Chris Pyatt. Were there up there?
Yeah.
You remember, wasn't he?
Yeah, good fighter.
Oh,
yeah.
Good fighter, wasn't he? Chris Pyatt, wasn't he?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, light middle. Yeah.
Everybody knows that you used to be a bit of a swinger 30 years ago back in the day, a big noise on the world scene, mixing it with Don King, Barry Hearn, Frank Warren, all them sort of characters, Bob Arum. You've took a bit of a backseat, obviously, now, Pete, but what do you think to the current scene at the moment?
I don't like it. That's basically one of the reasons I did choose to ease out of it, you know, because I don't like the way it's run. It's just not for me, you know. Yeah. It's totally different.
Yeah, it is. This situation at the moment with Saudi Arabia, they've sort of like took over, haven't they?
They have, and it's a shame because it's a shame in a lot of ways, but it's understandable in one way because it's giving our small hall fighters a chance to come up. But then, how many out of small halls are actually going to make it?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? You know.
Do you feel, Pete, that they've got like these small old kids that are like 10-0, 12-0? You feel that the records are getting more protected than ever before because they want to keep that O to get to like the lottery ticket in Saudi? Do you think?
Yeah, that's the only chance they get. I mean, I've got a friend whose son is a Southern area champion, right? I'm not going to mention no names, right? But he's a Southern area champion. And do you know he has to pay to fight to top the bill at York Hall? He don't get paid. He has to pay to fight on the bill when he's undefeated.
Yeah, I know that were going on when I worked for Dennis Hobson. People were paying to go on shows and that's just the nature of the beast at the moment because people are wanting rankings to get in the mix, aren't they? So you're paying to get in the mix. That would have happened in your day, would it?
No.
You can't get your head around that, Pete, can you?
No, I can't. It's just unbelievable because I was getting. I mean, I had 4-round fighters back then. I was getting $3,000 from 4 grand from 40 years, 35, 40 years ago.
3 and 4 grand for 4 rounds. Oh my God, people are not getting that now for Commonwealth title fights.
I was getting that back 30 years ago, 27, 28, 30 years ago. More than that.
So what's happening with payments, do you think? What's going on?
Well, I suppose it's who you got wrapped around you in your stable. I mean, I had probably the biggest selling commodity from this country, didn't I, in Nigel Benn? But, I mean, because I had him, I had, obviously you got more pull. But I was still getting that kind of money 30 years ago. I can't believe it. What's happening to it now?
I remember speaking to Josh Wales' dad when I was with Dennis, and he was telling me that fighters, and I've heard Joe Gallagher mention this to me recently, fighters 30 years ago were getting 20 grand for British title fights, and now they're lucky to get 10 grand, in some weight divisions.
Yeah. So unbelievable, isn't it?
The scales have tipped the other way, haven't they now?
Yeah.
It's all in the promoter's favour, isn't it? This situation with Saudi, we'll come to Joshua and all that surrounding him and silent bans and that in later on in the episode. But does it look to you, because it does to me, that do you think that Eddie might be losing his grip a little bit at the moment, Eddie Hills?
Well, obviously everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but my opinion is I believe that Frank Warren and Triple T, the Turkey allocation, whatever his name is, they're trying to get Frank Warren out. I don't believe that they want
They're
him.
trying to get Eddie Hills out, sorry.
Yeah. They're trying to get rid of him because he's not liked. He's too cocky, and they would love to bring him down. And I think with Frank, he went over there a few months before Eddie got involved in anything, and he was the first over there. And I think he sat down with Turkey and said, "Look, I don't like this geezer, but he's there. He's a big nugget at the moment." And Turkey's probably gone, "Don't worry, we'll draw him in." I mean, Frank's getting rid of him without spending a penny of his own money.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Frank, they've had that 5 versus 5, didn't they? And he got beat. Just thought Joshua's just been flogged by Dubois. Conor Benn's not fought in Britain for 29 months. And old Sims gym looks like it's been torn apart recently, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, well, let's be fair about it.
They're on back foot, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to out him. And I mean, like Tony, as I say, Tony Sims, I mean, I trained Tony and I got him his licenses, you understand?
Yeah.
So I know Tony very, very well. And I mean, he's only got a couple of fighters left in the camp now. And I mean, Conor's only relevant till he fights someone live, you understand? As soon as he fights someone live, as much as I think the world of his dad as I managed him, Conor's not in the same class, you understand? He's not nowhere near. And I think as soon as he meets somebody that's lively, he's out.
What did you think, Peter, about Conor and this like fake intense beef with Devin Haney? Do you think that Eddie just might be thinking, you know what, this Conor Benn situation, it's become a bit tiring for him, and do you think they just might want to just cash him out now, put him in a big fight and get what they can out of him? Because it looks to me like they're just trying to get what they can out of Joshua. They're trying to put Conor Benn in a big fight. That's how it looks to me. I don't know what it was.
But let's be fair. Who wants to see Conor Benn v Devin Haney? You've got a fighter that comes forward in straight lines against a guy that's got a lot of lateral movement who would make Conor Benn look silly. And Conor Benn's only chance of beating Devin Haney is if he lands one on the chin.
Yeah.
And then we don't know how he's punching now at 147, do we? Because he ain't really been tested. So will he hit somebody? Because when you get somebody that comes forward in straight lines and then you've got a fighter like Devin Haney who's got a lot of lateral movement, he's very much like Usyk. He will just keep you off balance. So you'll never be able to set to land that big right. So you'll always be off balance. So you'll only be hitting him with 50% of the power anyway.
Yeah.
This is what happened exactly between Fury and Usyk and all these AJ and Usyk and Dubois. They can't hit Usyk because he don't let them set.
Joshua, Tony Bellew, Chisora.
Yeah, Joyce. Exactly. They don't set. They can't set their punch. So they're only going to hit him if they connect with 50% of power. And this is what I see happening with Conor Benn if he fights Devin Haney.
Yeah.
Who wants to see that fight? I think more because Boots would stand there and trade with him, and Boots would knock him out within 2 rounds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Conor's got a high ranking, very high ranking. He's ranked really high. So, but I find that quite odd because he's not won a belt yet, has he?
But you got to look at it like this: when you've got a Conor Benn who's a sellable commodity, and he goes in, say, against a Jaron Ennis, if he did, that's a big draw fight, big money. So therefore, or a Chris Eubank, the WBC, of course, they're going to give him a ranking.
Yeah.
Because the more money they get. Do you see?
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Whereas it ain't really because of who he's fought, because he ain't fought no one.
Yeah.
He's fought light welterweights that have been blown up to a middle welterweight. Yeah. Or they've been out the game. There was their names, but have been retired for 2 years and ain't fought for 18 months. Just like, like Klitschko. Chris Algieri and them. They was all past their best.
Yeah.
It's all about the pound note. The shekel runs it all. You understand?
Yeah.
The money runs boxing. It's got nothing to do about names and who's good. You've got to be able to sell. Once you can sell a ticket, it's all about bums on seats.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So it's not about how good he is, or can he sell that? Of course, we're going to give him a ranking. If he gets beat once, do you think they'll give him a ranking again?
No.
He'll be history.
Yeah. You know what?
IFLTV.
Yeah. It's a tough game. You know what? Eddie's in a catch-22 situation because if Conor Benn gets a couple of defeats, he's down the road, isn't he? And Eddie can't spend no time with him. Then he can't be his best mate. Then can he? He has to move on to the next guy, doesn't he? So he's in a tough situation anyway.
Yeah. You'll probably find him on IFLTV interviewing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's best mates with Cougar, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you think to IFL at the moment? Because they don't seem to be putting any questions to any of these people, do they, Pete?
I try not to watch them if I can help it, because I don't like the people that's running it. So I try not to watch it too much, only unless it's really, I find if it's important. Like I try not to watch too much boxing unless it's of a good fight, or because it's all fixed. And half of the questions that come across are ridiculous questions anyway. The kids that are answering the questions ain't got a clue.
Yeah, like what's your favourite crisps, Eddie?
Yeah, like the guy that goes down to his gym all the time, the Asian boy.
Yeah.
Same questions all the time to everyone, and they're ridiculous, half of them.
Yeah, you mean Umar, IFL Umar?
Yeah, is that his name? Yeah,
Umar.
I don't know his name. Yeah. Oh gosh.
What about the titles, Pete? Everything's brutally honest these days, or intense beef, isn't it?
Yeah. Unbelievable what's going on out there.
Okay, we'll switch it over then to Big Malc, aka Spencer Fearon. There were a lot said, him and Don Charles, Dubois' dad. What do you make of all that little scenario?
Well, I tell you what I make of it. It's plain and simple. He was all quiet before the fight.
Yeah.
A week before the fight, what do you do if you want to get notoriety? You jump in and say something that's going to cause everybody to jump on the bandwagon and give you as much notoriety before the fight. He's not even thought about it 3 weeks before the fight. But all of a sudden, he pipes up because he wants to get on the front pages of the TV, like all on these YouTubes and all this. Yeah, not mainstream media, but the media. He wants to pipe himself up and blow himself up. And listen, he was no good as a boxer. He knows nothing about the sport, of modern sport. Anyway, yes, he's boxed. Yes, he knows a little bit about boxing. But what does he actually know about? Who's he ever managed? Who's he ever trained? Nobody. All he is, he's like Ambrose Mendy was. The black people all around the black fighters. You never see him around a white fighter.
Yeah.
He's always around like the little black clique. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And he doesn't know nothing about boxing, management, training. All he knows about is when he fought. So he's just trying to get himself involved, and now he's being blanked big time, isn't he, by Don Charles. Don't mention that man's name. Don't want to know.
Yeah, Bricktop's people had him put in gods at Wembley, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. You said it. Yeah.
Don Charles, you think he's had a lot of unfair criticism? He's done an interview yesterday. He was very explosive about Derek Chisora, saying he weren't paying him sometimes or weren't paying him enough and treating him really poorly and stuff like that. Do you think he's had a raw deal, Don Charles?
Yeah, and I've got a feeling. I don't know whether he's going to stay with Dubois now.
Yeah.
I think this is a 50-50.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a sit down in the next few weeks with Daniel, and come to some kind of like, hang on, you're disrespecting me by not even thanking me afterwards and all this. It's all my dad, all your dad, and I don't know whether he's going to want to be around that, because if I was working my nuts off a 13-week camp and my dad was like my fighter's dad was getting all the praise when he was sitting on the bench outside, because I listened to the interview, like we spoke, and I said, I listened to it, and he said Dubois' dad sits outside on the bench all day long, and if he's doing all the work with his team and he's getting nothing for, why do it just for the money? I think Don Charles is a bit more prouder than the money.
Yeah, he strikes me as somebody who's got integrity.
Yeah, exactly. He's a little bit more proud, got more integrity than just letting the money be the all and be all. Yeah. So I think there'll be some meetings coming along there, and it wouldn't surprise me if Dubois moved on.
Yeah, it'd be a shame that one. Hey, what a scenario that'd be if Ben Davidson got his marching orders and Anthony Joshua ended up with Daddy Don Charles.
Oh, I can see that happening. I can see Davidson going.
Yeah.
Because Anthony Joshua still doesn't know what he wants. But going back to Dubois, if I had Dubois as a manager, if I was managing Dubois now at 27 years of age, because you don't reach your peak as a heavyweight till you're 29, 30.
Yeah.
I'd say to Daniel Dubois, pack your bags, I'm taking you to America. You got class sparring, you got all the sparring you want out there as an heavyweight to improve. And yes, he could reign longer. I mean, the guys that are sensible go out there. Gonna make it like the Shirazes, all the guys that have got a bit of smart, Boatsy, gone out to America. you know, because they know that that's where the best sparring. You've got 360 million population now.
Yeah,
you're going to get the best.
Nigel Benn out there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we went to live in Miami, in Florida.
I remember seeing a program. I forget what it were, but he went out there. And first thing he did, he bought a fancy car and he bought a big, massive telly in this penthouse, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, you know the car he bought, didn't you? He bought Don Johnson's car off of Miami Vice.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what he had. Yeah, that's what he bought. 30 grand he gave for that back then.
That black one?
30 grand he gave for that 27 years ago.
Didn't you tell him that's a lot of money, that? Because it was a fake Ferrari, wasn't it, Daytona?
It was, yeah, it was. I'll tell you what it was. It
Corvette.
was a Corvette Stingray chassis with a Ferrari-looking body on the top. Yeah. And he didn't know that. He told me, I bought this and I bought that, you know, Don Johnson's car. And it weren't. It was just a stunt vehicle, one of about 4.
Were you cruising about up Coco Walk in it?
Yeah, Daytona Beach, all around there. We was flying up and down there, all around, yeah, Miami Beach, Florida, Collins Avenue, up and down. Yeah. Oh,
good old days, man. Peter.
Yeah, good old days, man. Good old days. Yeah.
I remember seeing a video when I was a kid years ago, and he sparred Duran, didn't he, out there?
Yeah. Over here, we sparred with Duran.
Oh, over here?
Yeah. We sparred with the likes of Mickey Rourke out there, the actor. Yeah. And we sparred with lots of kids in the 5th Street Gym, Miami. That's where we was based.
Yeah. What was it like going there? Because it's an historic gym, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, when we was there, I'll tell you who was running it was Bo Jack. Yeah. Remember the fighter, the 15-man fighter, Bo Jack? Yeah. Good fighter. Yeah. He was an old man then. Because Chris Dundee owned it, not Angelo Dundee. Chris Dundee owned it, his brother. Yeah. And that's where Ali used to train.
Yeah.
In Miami, in the 5th Street Gym. Yeah. That's where we was based. Yeah.
How long were you out there for, Pete? A few months for it?
Oh, no. We was out there for like 6 weeks at a time, then back. Yeah. But we was out there for about a year, I think. Yeah. And then we come back and then we moved to Tenerife because it was nearer and we could still get the altitude running, you know?
Mm. And somebody sent me some pictures today. Before he fought McClellan, Nigel Benn, he had all them Essex gangsters around him and all that. They were out in camp with him, weren't they? What was that like? Because they all got shot dead, didn't they?
I listened to your program the other day. I just want to get this clarified. And I'm not a liar, you know that, because I don't fear nobody, so I don't have to lie, right? I'll tell you this now. Tucker and Carlton Leach came out to Tenerife once in all the years I was with him. They come out once. Leach. Yeah, they come out once, and I had a massive row with Nigel about them coming out there. And he went, they're only here for a couple of weeks. I went, no, I can't have that, Nigel. I'm going home. And I was going to leave the camp and go home. I was going to leave him. And we had a bit of a disagreement. And anyway, next morning he came to me, he said, Pete, they're going home Friday. I said, okay. And they went home Friday because he wanted me to give my apartment, my bungalow up out there for them to stay in. I said, where am I going to stay then? No, that don't work like that, mate. You know, I said, I'll go home. Fuck it. Anyway, they went on the Friday. They never come back ever again. They only ever come once. So I'm not going to tell no lies. And when you see Colton, there's a picture of Colton running with Nigel down the mountain. Yeah. Colton only ran 10 yards with him for the photo. He got back in the car after that because he had a bad knee. He had a brace on his knee. He had surgery and he only ran 10 yards for the Photoshop. That's all.
I've seen Carlton. He strikes me as a funny guy, Carlton, but I've seen some clip on YouTube and he said he did a full camp out there.
No, did he, El? Listen, I would go on any channel, Colton, I'll go on any channel, tell you to your face, you're fucking lying.
Oh, Carlton.
I'll tell you.
All right, though, Carlton.
Yeah, I've known him, I've worked the doors with him. I know Colton. I used to work the doors with him years ago. You know, 40 fucking years ago, I worked the doors with him, you know? But he's all right, but he's got this in his head that he's something he's not, you understand? Yeah. Just because of the football, you know? Because of West Ham, you know?
Oh, you're both West Ham, aren't you?
Yeah.
Carlton, I'm not having a go at you, Carlton.
Yeah, but see, where he's ICF, I'm not. I've never been involved in football violence. I don't believe in fighting over a ball. You understand? Yeah.
But getting back to Joshua and that, what do you think to his performance, Pete?
Well, Joshua's performance, I'll be honest with you. You know what my honest opinion is? Yeah. As I say, everybody's entitled to one, but my honest opinion is he got in that ring stone cold. Yeah. He never warmed up. Never. I heard that he got to the arena at 9. By the time you get to an arena at 9, now remember I've done Southern area, British, Commonwealth, European, and I've done about 12 or 14 world title fights. So I've been in that position. Yeah. You have to get there an hour and a half before, at least 2 hours, at least. Yeah. So he should have been there at 8 o'clock, the very latest, if he's going out at 10. Yeah. So I believe he's turned up there late. By the time he's got there, he's got to get all his gear laid out. He's got to get all his boots done up. He's got to get all these hands done, which takes about, to do a good hand, could take you 20, 25 minutes an hand. Yeah, could even take 30 minutes an hand to do a proper one. You know,
Crotches an hour. He used to do his in an hour.
Yeah, both hands. Yeah, that's 30 minutes an hand. So I'm not talking about a pair. I'm talking about each hand. You know, then you got to get dressed. Then you got to skip, warm up. Then you got to listen to have a little chat. Then you got to get everybody in and out. Then you got people coming in with microphones stuffed up your face. You know, he went in that ring stone cold. Look, when he took his coat off, there was one drip of sweat on him. He was as cold as anything.
The guy was lathered, wasn't he?
And also, I think he didn't think that Dubois was going to come out and jump on him. I think he thought Dubois might come out and start with a fast jab. But what you've got to notice with Dubois, what he was doing, he was going pop, pop, and then straight down the centre with a straight jab. He weren't bringing him round. He was going crack, and he was catching him, knocking him back like that. Then he was going backwards, and as Usyk said, he was going back in the straight line with his head up like that. Of course he's going to get caught, you know. But Eddie Hills is making excuses every which way he can for him now, you know. Not talking about the fight now, it's how much bollocks he had for getting up. The fighter that gets in the ring 9 times out of 10 are going to try and get up, aren't they? You know.
Do you think that we should give Dubois his flowers and the media should stop talking about how shocked they are about Joshua's performance and give Dubois some credit?
Yeah, obvious, 100%. Yeah, he done absolutely well. I had £50 on Dubois to win because I fancied. Look, you've got a young lion, right? Who's in the jungle. For me, he's 27 years old. He's got his pride, like as the lion has got a pride. Yeah, AJ's lost his pride. AJ's gone in there with a belt. His pride is his belt. Yeah, you got an old lion going in to try and take that young lion's pride away from him. He ain't having it, you know. And I said to myself, look, what a good bet. He let 7-2, I think it was. I got £50 on it, 225 quid. I got for 50 quid. That's all, nothing major. But I just went, I'll have a little bet on that because he's got a great chance here. I didn't expect it to be that quick. I'll be honest with you, or so one-sided.
Yeah.
I mean, halfway, yeah, you could see 6-7 rounds. But I thought it might go sort of like 9-10 rounds because I thought they'd both come out cautious and work behind the jab early on. But then I thought the youth would come out later on. But obviously, he jumped straight on him from the first bell.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think about the rematch clause? They said they were activating it. 48 hours later, Eddie said they weren't. They were going to think about it. Now they're saying there is one and it looks like it's going to be a rematch. What do you think about all this, Pete?
Well, I'll explain it to you from a manager's point of view, right? Now, you got Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. They're working for Turkey Al-Sheikh, right?
Yeah.
He is the promoter.
Yeah.
When they're putting their fighters forward for these fights, they're only going there as a manager type personnel. Yeah, they're not actually going as, they're not co-promoting it. No. He's promoting it. So what's happened is, I listened to Frank Warren yesterday. Not Frank Warren, sorry, Eddie Hearn yesterday, and he's trying to come out of all these fancy wordings now. But I know from the managerial side what's gone on. What's gone on is, let me explain. He's gone there with Anthony Joshua. He's done a 2 or 3 fight deal with Turkey regarding Anthony Joshua. But he's done it on a managerial basis, not as a promotional basis, right? The promotional basis belongs to Turkey, right? And the Saudis. So what's happened is now, he's got beat on Saturday. So what's happened now, he's gone, yeah, we've got a rematch clause immediately afterwards, but he hasn't got a rematch clause. What he means is he's got an option left.
Yeah.
Which means Turkey's got an option, not even he's got an option, because every contract as for a promoter has the option of getting out of it. You understand, as you know. Yeah. So what's happened is he's gone to Riyadh, to Saudi. He sat down and he's got this one option left. So now Turkey's deciding whether he wants to have a rematch or not. Both sides have agreed to a rematch, yeah, but that doesn't mean to say there's a rematch clause in no contracts. There's no contracts. He hasn't got a contract. What he's got is his word of mouth, because he knows that if he fucks Turkey once, he'll only fuck him once. He won't fight again.
Yeah, so Eddie's backpedaled, hasn't he, now?
Yeah, so now he's saying, oh, yeah, we've got this option, but now I must think of my fighter's well-being and what's the best for my fighter. Now he's talking about Deontay Wilder probably next. If Usyk and Fury fight December the 21st, he's waiting for the outcome of that. Dubois already stated he's not fighting no more this year, so he's waiting until next year. So now what basically is, what he should be saying to the public is, until I sit down with Turkey, I ain't got a clue what's happening.
Yeah.
Turkey, I'm only there with Anthony as a manager type thing, you know what I mean?
We've never seen Eddie like this before, have we, on back foot?
Well, it's money, isn't it? It's what I said to you, it's all money. It's got nothing to do with AJ, and AJ and him have got no. AJ's contracted to him as a promoter, but he's gone out there doing his best for him as a promoter. But he's not gone as a promoter. He's not co-promoted.
Yeah,
Turkey is the promoter for the show, so he's actually talking to the public now as a manager. He's not talking to him as a promoter. So it's up to Turkey if he wants to fight.
Turkey's running show now, isn't he?
Of course he is. Yeah. If Turkey says no, I don't want a rematch, there's no rematch.
Yeah. Did you know?
I want a rematch next. There'll be a rematch.
Yeah. If Turkey wants a rematch, they'll all jump through hoops and say, "Yeah, the rematch is on." If he says no, I don't want it, they're going to do as they're told, aren't they?
Both of them. Yeah.
Did you see Christopher Eubank's outburst yesterday?
No, I didn't. No, not yet. No, I haven't seen that.
Well, Christopher Eubank yesterday was sat in front of Frank Warren at that press conference, and they asked him why he signed with Boxer, and his reply was, "I couldn't go with Frank Warren because he's a scumbag and he sued me for 200,000, so I was never going to go with him." Frank piped up, "Who you calling a scumbag? Fight Hamza Shiraz." He then said, "I couldn't go with Eddie Hills and Frank Smith because they tried to put me in with Conor Benn, who had been on steroids." And he said, "I couldn't go with Kalle Sauerland because he's been ripping me off for the last couple of years." I'll play it to you. Hang on a minute, and you let me know what you think.
I saw both of them apologise today. Both sides have apologised today, haven't they?
Oh, Eubank.
Frank Warren. Eubank and Frank Warren both apologised to each other.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they've just apologised to each other.
Oh, Turkey's made them apologise then, has he?
Yeah. Because he said now that he might be doing something further down the line. Just down the line.
Oh my God, Frank Warren having to apologise and do as he's told.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
In public as well.
Yeah, let me just play this now. Listen to this.
Boxer, why? Why Boxer? Because every other promoter.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a scumbag. That's why. But Frank Warren behind me, lying and cheating his way through boxing for the last couple of decades. Sued me for a couple $100,000 a few years ago, so obviously I was never going to go with him. That was a scumbag. Kalle Sauerland had me locked up. Speak up, I can't hear you. Kalle Sauerland had me locked up in a terrible contract for the last few years, squeezing money out of me at every opportunity. Scumbag. Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith. They did everything they could to try and make this fight against Conor Benn still go ahead. Scumbag. Still go ahead. Why do you fight Hamza Shiraz, scumbag? After knowing that they, that he was on steroids, scumbags. I would say the only. Why do you ask? I would say the only promoter that I know for sure isn't a scumbag is His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. This is a man who isn't trying to take money from fighters. He isn't trying to use lawyers and accountants to lock fighters up in slave contracts. He's a man of God. He's a man of religion. That's what's most important to the people of Saudi Arabia. He just wants to put the biggest fights on, the best events on, and pay fighters what they're worth. And as a fighter, you know, it's a blessing to be a fighter at this moment of time, because this is the first time we've ever had a promoter like this in the history of boxing. And you know, Ben Shalom's a very cool guy too.
Well, there you go. He's got stuck into him, hasn't he?
Yeah, but 6 months down the line or a year down the line, he'll be a scumbag, you know, because what'll happen is he'll get bullied into a fight that he doesn't really want by Turkey, that he'd take it or fuck off, basically, you know. And this is what happens. And also, you've got to take into consideration, Chris Eubank thinks he can run the show all himself. You need people who know what they're talking about behind you, solicitors, lawyers, you know, to do proper contracts. You know, there's always got these little wordings in these contracts that, if you like Chris Eubank, that's always in Las Vegas casinos all hours of the night and don't take full control of yourself, you know. This is what happens to you.
Do you remember?
You can only blame yourself.
Yeah. Do you remember that contract that Spencer Fearon sent me with Tunde to fight him, and you dissected it on here and just pulled it apart? It was like it was very hard for me to go about my business doing this and not mention it. I would have had to pay him 20,000, wouldn't I?
Well, just take me, for instance, going back to the days when I was with Nigel. If Nigel never had me, why do you think I lasted with Nigel Benn? Because I was good at my job. Yeah. Not because I was his mate and he was giving me £500,000 a year or whatever, you know, back in them days to be his mate. It's because I was good at my job, because I knew what I was doing. Nigel had no troubles from the day I worked for him to the day I retired. We both retired together. We never had no problems along the way, because he done his training and that, and I done all the contracts and I sorted everything out. Everything run like clockwork. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Nowadays, everybody wants a slice of cake, don't they, Pete?
Oh, everybody wants to be on the top. Everybody wants to be on the camera.
Yeah, they do. And I feel sorry for people like Eubank and Joshua and all that. They obviously don't know what's coming next, do they, with all these people leeching off them?
But I listened to a show you done a few weeks ago, and you said it out there. You went, all these people that are glory hunting that ain't even fighting. It's the, you know, the managers and the trainers all want to get on the program, on the TV, and not worry about what's happening to the fighter. They're more worried about nicking the limelight, like Ambrose did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was one of the first ones to hog limelight, wasn't he, Ambrose? Maybe, wasn't he?
But he was never a licensed to anything. He was only an agent. That's how he used to call himself, an agent. But he wasn't licensed by the board. They wouldn't have it. They wouldn't give him no license.
So he was never a manager then?
No, he was no. The only two managers Nigel Benn ever had was, when you first sign up, you must have a manager.
Bert McCarthy, and he had
Bert McCarthy. Yeah. Then after that was me. He never had nobody as a licensed manager before or after that, Bert or me. That's it.
Yeah.
No one.
Surprised at that, because a lot of people have a lot of managers, don't they?
Yeah.
But do you know why fighters don't manage themselves after 3 years, Pete? Do you think it's because they're not smart enough?
Why they don't manage themselves? Yeah. Well, there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work. You've got to make sure all the scans are up to date, the contracts are all right. Yeah. You know, when you're going abroad, you've got to make, if you're going to fight abroad, it depends what standard of fighter you are. I think you can manage yourself if you're only like a small all show, you know, like at the moment you got that heavyweight Fisher. His dad's doing all the ticket sales and all that, and you know. But apart from that, he wouldn't want to manage himself at the moment. He's gone to J. Even he's gone to J. Thingy Bob now. What's it called?
Sam Jones.
Sam Jones. Yeah, that stupid idiot. Yeah, he's gone to him. Who ain't got a clue, may I say? You know.
Well, basically, he's there just because when Eddie.
He's a yes man.
He said, we've got this fight for me. He's not going to go, no, we're not happy with that. Oh, that's not enough money. He's just going to nod, isn't he?
Well, what he does is, what I believe he does, is Eddie will ring him and let him manage fighters so that he can spend the time to persuade these fighters to actually go and do whatever Eddie wants. Eddie ain't got the time to stop them. Eddie's here, there and everywhere, 100 miles an hour. He ain't got time to sit there, or even Frank Smith ain't got the time to sit there and talk to these fighters to persuade them or be seen to be begging them. So they let Sam Smith do that and give him a little wage every month.
Sam Jones.
But who's he ever managed or done? I mean, look, Joe Joyce, as soon as he beat Dubois, he went up for the
WBO mandatory.
Interim belt, he won, right?
Yeah.
Where was Sam Jones the night he won it? He wasn't with him. He wasn't his manager. He fucked him off because he's nobody.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like a buffer, isn't he, who does all leg work.
To be honest with you, Russ, he's one of these people in boxing. I just don't know what he actually does or what his actual title is.
Well, they do interviews all day on different YouTube channels and get Eddie's point across, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what they
do. I mean, what
like
the fuck does Jack... But what does Jack Catterall need him for? You know, he's got... I can't make it out.
I don't know, but they need a mouthpiece, some people, don't they? So he's a mouthpiece. He sits on
but he can't even,
all day.
But he can't hold a conversation, Russ. He swears and you hear him on the table, on the press conference. I'm going to fucking, you know, and all this. You don't... That ain't how a manager speaks on the table, is it?
No, not at press conferences. It's show a bit.
No, it's ridiculous how he controls himself. I can't believe it. You know, this is what I say. I'm glad I'm out of it. All I do is I sit back. Like yourself, I sit back. I don't lie because I don't give a fuck. I don't fear no man. So I don't lie. I tell the truth as much as I can. Obviously, everybody's got an opinion, but my opinion is from going back from assessing it from my day to this day and trying to come somewhere in the middle and be honest about it. Do you understand? Because times change. I understand that, you know, but I wouldn't go back into boxing if I was paid £1 million a day. I couldn't go back into it.
No.
And I've been offered to go on so many channels. It's untrue. I've done one channel on here. I've got 500,000 views.
Yeah.
In one interview, I've done an hour in my house for my friend. And I still, don't get me wrong, I'm involved in boxing. I still work as an inspector and that as an IBA inspector for my friend's business. You know, IBA. I just do that, and I've been helping him for 20 years. But and I do hands and cuts and things like that, help him out. But that keeps me involved. But I don't want to get back in it on the professional side, not at all.
Yeah, you like the IBA then, dear?
Yeah, because it's my friend who owns it. Number one, and two is I'm not looked at anything other than Pete. You know, and that's what I like. I just like to be Peter, you know.
Robbie Reed always speaks very well of you when I speak to him.
Yeah, I go back a long time with Robin. Yeah, I knew them all in the day, Kazaki, Robin, all of them, you know. Richie Wood, all of them. They was all up and coming then, you know.
Yeah. Well, Robin ended up with WBC after Nigel, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he beat, wasn't it him that beat Malinga, wasn't it?
No, he lost against Malinga, didn't he? But he beat Nardiello in Italy, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Nardiello, that's right. Yeah.
He fought 5 times in a year, didn't he, Robin Reed? From winning it to losing it 5 times in about 16 months, which is a good run, that, isn't it?
Yeah, Robin Reed was a good fighter. I thought he beat Kawasaki, to be fair.
Yeah, I did it. A lot of people did. He had a point took off him in 8, didn't he? I mean, he should have took off him.
Same as us, isn't it? Old Trafford,
Nigel Benn against Eubank, he were obviously robbed, wasn't he, in that second fight, wasn't he? They had a point took off Nigel but Eubank had his shorts up here, didn't he?
Yeah, but I've got it in writing from Chris Eubank. I can send it to you, where Chris Eubank actually says Nigel Benn beat me that night. I know I lost.
Tommy Earns beat Leonard, and Leonard admitted that one, didn't he? When they
well, I've got it in writing. I can send it to you where Eubank says Nigel Benn beat me that night. He done enough to beat me. I know he did. You know, I'm honest about it, which is fair.
I've seen an interview with Chris Eubank Senior where he said that. He said, "Thought I got beat that night." We're very honest gentlemen.
Yeah, very honest. Yeah.
So, all right then, Peter. It's been fantastic having you on. You're always a gentleman. You always show a bit of class. And you always speak from the heart, and very, very truthful. And everybody loves that. Loves it when you come. You don't come on a lot because it's not your thing. But I just want to let you know, Pete.
Yeah. I don't mind once a month or something. You know, I don't mind once a month or something.
You can come on here once a month, Pete. That'd be fantastic. That'd be like Ring Magazine once a month. All right, Pete.
You're welcome.
You've been a gentleman, and all the best to you and your family, mate.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Take care, Pete.
Good night, mate. Bye, lads. Bye.